Well, hello. Um, as you can see, it all looks a bit different. Look at this. We can do stuff. Oh. So we can go to web pages, and we can look at web pages. Oh yes. And you got a little picture of me face down here. And you got the evil bear symbol at the top there in the other corner on the right hand side. I think then, left and right. I've got another camera to order tonight that will then point down so I can show you like models I'm working on or something. So for example, I can say, hey, look at this dragon. Look at this. Wow, oh, going the wrong way. Look at this. Wow. It's a dragon. It's my dragon. So yeah, I got more dragons. This just didn't want to go out of the cabinet. Yeah, lots of other stuff. I can normally show you. Oh, I can show you other things as well. Now I've got my internet back. My internet goes out every now and then, so all I'm going to do is this live. This is for Black Site Studios, and these do a game called Lunar. I like Lunar. I like Lunar a lot. I really like the idea of Lunar. Bunch of people up in space on the moon trying to like cut bits of rock, do some scientific jobs, maybe have a medic with them, obviously, in case you get hurt. Maybe like a soldier with you, it's like defense, because the Russians are on there as well, and the Chinese are there. There's Europeans. There's, I've forgotten somebody. Oh, there's private contractors. So there's a bit of all sorts really. So yeah, so in your basic box you get your box, all your counters you need, and like this little measuring tool, and it has a little coin. You can't see where it's like a little bit of yellow up there. That's a little coin you flip with an arrow on it for like random direction. I use a D10 and use the point of a D10, but that's just a bit old school really. Got the Lunar rulebook, really nicely produced rulebook. Can't say more. You get the cards, so you have equipment on cards, and then you've got different types of guys on cards. You get a few repeat cards because you can have quite a few generalists generally, because you're not limited on them. You only get one commander card because you can only have one commander. And then you've got these dice here, and these are tears. And these are not tears in the fabric of your mentality or sanity or reality. These are tears in your suits. So the idea is that the regolith can rip your suits when you fall over and stuff like that. So your aim is really to cause your enemy to fall over and give themselves an ouchie, or hit them with a hammer and tear through the suit and give them an ouchie, or use like this weapon here, a mining tool, gives lots of ouchies. Price there, what can you say? Their models are resin. It's a very small company, but absolutely fantastic. When you buy your rule book, as it says here, you get a PDF to download once you put your order in as well, but obviously you can't get a refund after that point for obvious reasons, so you don't get jimmied by people. So what else you got? Well, you can get a mat, good price really, £35, you know, for what other companies do, it's a good price. I got mine from Tiny Terrain, I think they're called. He runs under another name on eBay. I'll do a video on that all at another point. Now I've got a slightly better camera setup on the way. So yeah, what else we got here? So these are the expansion weapons and greebles. So these are some extra weapons and some extra cards to use as weapons. And there's a important card in this pack of a sniper rifle that's used by one of the drones, and you're going to need that if you start getting the drones. Is the wrong word. What do we want to call them? Robots. I like robots, but not robots with arms and like drain pipe legs or anything. Proper robots with wheels and tracks. So here we've got the quad bike. This can be used by all of the forces. It is generally came out for the freelancers, which is like your corporation guys. but it comes with a body for the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, and obviously the freelancers. You don't get a body for the Europeans in there, unfortunately. This is more to do with the fact that the ATV came out before they designed the Europeans, so that's really the reason for that, I'd say. You got the lunar Soviet. I'm not even going to pronounce that because I don't want hostilities. So yeah, that's quite a cool little vehicle for the Russians. I've got one of them. I'll show you one of those on another video. So yeah, please, if you can, support us by following or liking and subscribing. You've got that's your starter box inventory already, and then you've got your classic American buggy. Oh, mention on this one over here, the Russian one. There's a little seat on the back, so the idea is it can take a passenger, not physically, but you know. Right, and then you've got other bits here. So, like I say, you got the. Meh. I'm going mad. Oop. Right, let's go back there, and we're going to go to. So we go into this Black Site Studios and go into their Lunar, and then you got Lunar expansions. So what have we got here? So these are the freelancers, which is what I quite like. I really like the models, so I'll go for them. Obviously, we've just seen through these two here. We've got the ROC, which is the Republic of China. Really cool. They're quite cheap, so you generally get a few more guys. As long as you don't go over the top of your equipment, you can kind of outnumber your enemy. Or you can just spam out on good gear. And then you've got the robots, or unmanned rover expansion. So these is the first set. It's got like a shield. I think this one here is a bomb or something, and yeah, one's a mining one, I think. I don't know. I've not got them myself yet. We just talked about the quad bike there. You've got the Heroes pack. So there's some characters in the book, but they come with some cards. And I think it's a few extra characters there. I'm not sure, but yeah. So some characters, really good. Mining and resource markers. If you don't want to make your own, you can order some. Can't get fairer than that. Lunar expansion weapons and greebles we spoke about a minute ago. It's got a few extra bits of equipment. They've got things like Fletchet rifles and stuff like that as well. So if you really want to go funky, get the Lunar Soviet LK Lander. Nice little resin kit. I 3D printed mine, which was an absolute pain because I had to do all the rescaling on it and all that. But yeah, because the files online are not great. So this is fantastic detail, better than my 3D print, to be fair. Yeah, gorgeous model. I'd love to get one of those one day. Then you've got the NASA astronauts. You can buy more astronauts. You've got low gravity astronaut kits as well, but they haven't got their helmets on. We'll come across that in a minute. Why? We've got the Europeans, and they come there with a Fletchet rifle, and yeah, they're pretty good. They can use the vehicles of any force really. If they can just choose one card from any other faction to represent the sort of alliances that Europe have. More low gravity. I'll come across that again in a minute. And then we've got some more cosmonauts to buff up your numbers if you want to. I've seen some people get 3-4 packs of these. I'd say you probably don't need more than 2 of packs for your force. 1 pack would probably be more than enough to get you through most of a campaign. It's not a WYSIWYG game, so again, you don't have to worry too much about how you arm your guys. Low gravity astronauts again. So lunar rules supplement. So this is quite interesting. So this is the first supplement for the game, called Hull Breach, and this is based on space stations and low gravity environments. So like maybe the moon base. Again, I haven't got this book yet. A friend of mine has, and I haven't seen him yet, so I've not had a flick through. And you get the book, and you get, I think, a few cards of it apparently. So yeah. And they got the expanded rules for the vehicles. When you buy a vehicle, you get the PDF for the vehicles. So that's really cool. So you get a free PDF when you buy a vehicle to give you the rules for vehicles. So you don't have to have this extra book. But of course, it's always nice to have it all in one place. But yeah, so you got It's got cards and all that, and special token sheet as well. So you know, you're not just getting a book, you're getting a bit of support with it as well, which is nice. And then you've got the Lunar Unmanned Rover Expansion 2. And this is where you need the Greebles pack, because that gives you the rules for the gun that you can see on this dude here. So there's actually a rover with a gun on it. There's one with a dozer blade. I made one of those out of one of my rovers, or one of my kind of drones for my own game system. So I had a load cast up years ago, many years ago, and I got a few left in stock, so I thought, oh, I'll use them up. I haven't got the cards though. So I do need still all of them. And then Lunar Multi-Part Suitless Astronauts. So again, that's inside a base. Yeah, again, the things you don't need, but they're quite nice to have. For all the stuff that I wanted to get for this game, so like everything piled in, I was probably looking at, if I was going to buy it all in one go without postage, about 350 quid. Postage seems to stop at £29. So once you get to £29 worth of postage for the UK, that's where it just stops getting any higher, and the minimum is like £21 postage. So the only thing you've got to be worried about in the UK is putting your order over £130 in total, because then we get whacking bills. We get charged import fees, and then we get charged the sorting out of the import fees, and then they charge VAT on top of all of that, and on top of the cost of the actual item. So keep your orders to about 100 quid, 70 to 100 quid, and you're paying more per postage because you're splitting it over 3 or 4 orders. But it's a hard one to say if you're better off doing it that way or just going in one go. I'd love to have gone in one go, but the wife would probably murder me. But yeah, so who knows? She might be quite happy for the peace and quiet, to be fair. We'll all go hungry. So yes, there we are with that. So absolutely fantastic. Let's not just stop there though. So I mean, they got other games as well. I'm just literally looking at Lunar at the moment. So they've got Lunar Terrain. So got Lunar Accessories. I can't remember what the accessories is now, to be fair with you. I don't really look at it very much. Oh right, so these are the cards that you get with the main book. So if you want to order more cards, you can. You don't need to really. You can just, you know, make a group with your friends that you don't have to have you can split one card between 2 people, for example. But you generally get about 2 or 3 of each card, apart from the rare ones, which you can only have one off anyway in your force. So, and the chance of you and your opponent having the same card is quite small. So we'll go back, and we've got Lunar Terrain. So look at that, that's quite cool, doesn't it? So one thing about Blacklight Studios is they are getting quite a good name for themselves for terrain. So here we've got the battle mats again. These here looks like a steel, doesn't it? So these are for STL files, so you can literally buy the STL files, which is great if you're in the UK like myself, because I could then literally order them that day and then have them being printed the next day, kind of thing. In the case of these, I had a friend print them for me because they were quite big. Oh, and the other thing is, because they're STL files, so the craters, this one's got a moon buggy on it. I'll show you at some point. It paints that really nice, but the others don't have anything on a scale appropriate, so you can make them as big or as small as you want, or just print them so as they come. So you've got a moon base delta, quite fancy that. And then you've got mining scaffolding to go with the moon base. I might one day crumble and go for all this. Then you've got terrain greebles. Again, that'd be a 3D file. Another map. There you are. And the entire game's played on a 2x2 area. So we bought, because we're UK based, just because of costs and that, I would have bought the proper map if I could. We got a 4x4 map and cut it up into 4 mats. So if I take it to a club, we can have a few tables of it playing, because I've got quite enough terrain. Again, I'll go through making terrain for Lunar at some point. It's quite a fun experience really. It's very different to normal making terrain because you haven't got to worry about all the colours. There's actually, you can see the moon map, the moon surface here that they've done. There's a video that Blacklight Studios put up on YouTube. I suggest you look for them and sort it out and have a good search for it and check it out, because it's quite interesting how he puts it together. So yeah, I think he wears a tie while doing it whilst as well. So who wears a tie when making terrain? Yeah. Anyway, this is a test really, just to sort of I thought I'd ramble on a bit about Blacksite Studios Lunar. Anyway, I hope this video's come out well, and I hope it's been quite interesting to watch for you all. Is there anything what else there is? Is there anything else? No, I mean they got the merch, they got other games as well, so I could go for another time. I could go on forever really. They've got STL files which you can choose. There we go. You've got sci-fi, post-apocalyptic and fantasy, modern, and some miniatures as STL files. They do a few of those. It's not an STL file company though, that must be noted. They do rely on miniatures and selling rules. That's how they make their living. It's probably part of why the cards are with the miniatures. I think from my experience of doing it's not a great experience, but I have produced a game. Cards are a bane. They are real fun. I think it's the tactileness of cards makes them real fun, but they are a bane. They're a bane for production. They're a bane in cost, because you have to start working out the corner edgings and how round you want them, and then companies are vary. Companies want to know exactly what you want when you're producing this sort of stuff, because if they make a mistake, it's on them. If you make a mistake, it's on you. So they do want a lot of information when they're getting all this stuff done. So any company that does cards, small company, they don't do it light-heartedly, but it does add. But from a business point of view, it's a nightmare. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna actually have to stop there and then see if it's all worked. Otherwise I'm wasting my time and maybe yours. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll like, subscribe and come back for more. As you can see, this is the first one we've done like this, so we'll see how we improve as time goes on. Thank you.